What is going on, blessed alchemists? Welcome to Quasi Astrology. My name is Sam, and today we're doing Mars in the 8th house. We're finally here. We're in the 8th house. We're dealing with Scorpio in the 8th house influence. Oh, I love this position. I love anything that sits in the 8th house, and anyone who's subscribed to me knows how I feel about the 8th house and Scorpio in particular. I don't like to brush lightly through this deep, meaningful esoteric sign. I really like to get to the point. That being said, I just want to thank all my new subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing. Really means a lot to me. But South Africans, I mean, really, come on. I did this initially for you. I wanted to introduce astrology more into our social landscape, but no. I got more people from Taiwan and Japan following me, which I thank you all very much for doing. But South Africans, please, show me some love. Anyway, guys, we're going on with it. This is Mars in the 8th house. So, Mars in the 8th house. What a placement to have. It doesn't matter what is sitting on top of the 8th house. It doesn't matter what sign is there. But Mars in the 8th house, Mars in the sign ruled over by the great Scorpio. This is a very, very powerful position. This is a very occultic. This position has such occultic importance. This position has such esoteric importance. Remember Scorpio, and I need to explain Scorpio for you to understand the 8th house. Scorpio in commercial astrology has been completely bastardized. I have to put it that way. I have to, because everyone just comes with a very light explanation about this very deeply esoteric sign. This is the most prominent sign when it comes to the energy being produced through the sign, and that's for a reason. Because Scorpio is about transformation, death, and decay. It's not a happy-go-lucky sign. I know a lot of astrologers, if you watch them, they talk about this. Guys, you've got Scorpio, you're going to be hypnotic to the eye. Everybody's going to be magnetized towards you. It's such a sexual position to have. It's such a sexual sign. And whilst that might play into this position, because Scorpio also deals with sex, it rules over the sexual organs, the reproductive organs. So obviously that influence is going to be felt when you're dealing with Scorpio or the 8th house. Scorpio is about, esoterically speaking, in the school of theosophy, it is about the disciple. It is about moving from that singular point of consciousness, because you've started the descent. In the theosophy, we call it the descending arc, where the soul descends into matter, which is a very demonic process. That's what real demonic means. Well, that's what the demonic term means in primordial traditions. It's becoming accustomed to matter, to the physical world. That is the slight, that is the sin that we do. We come here and we manifest and we become physical instead of light beings. Right? And so this process really comes to a head where we truly come into the formation of matter. We truly lock ourselves in Scorpio. It starts in Virgo. Remember, in the ancient Hamitic times, in the times of even before Ptolemaic Egypt, Scorpio was a big sign. It consisted of basically 60 degrees rather than 30 degrees in the zodiac chart. So Virgo, the reason Virgo has such a similar symbol to Scorpio when you look at it is because they were part of a singular sign. Libra didn't exist at that time. Libra then got introduced in order to explain a very important stage within the position of Scorpio, an energy transferal that happens. And so in Scorpio, we see the end of this process. We see the end of the soul fully encompassing itself into matter. Okay? So in Scorpio, it's all about killing off the individuality of the soul, the separateness. The soul feels separate when it comes into Aries and it moves through the zodiac chart. It feels separate, and then it has to kill that off and become part of the collective. It has to deepen itself into matter first before it does that. And when we hit Aquarius after Capricorn, which is a very powerful esoteric sign as well, we hit Aquarius, then we finally start to return to the collective consciousness, the collective whole. But the whole process of Scorpio is to break the disciple down. This is where Hercules fought the Hydra. This is a real hard sign to deal with because it's meant to be. It's about death. It's about death, transformation, and sex. It's a serious sign. So when you have Mars, which rules, and a reason Mars rules over Scorpio, remember it rules in Aries and it rules in Scorpio, is because Mars is about devotion and willpower. You have to learn to be devoted instead to yourself. You have to learn to be devoted to a cause, especially in Scorpio. The cause is to break away from the individual self, the conscious self that you have, the superficial conscious self that you have constructed for yourself. And now you're trying to break away from that. You're trying to edge yourself forward with the undulating serpentine energy of Mars into physical matter, so you might complete the whole process and finally ascend up the ascending arc into spirit. So Mars gives you the ability to deal with these very heavy, very serious sort of elements that play out in this part of the chart, the story that gets played out in this part of the chart. Mars gives the chart holder with this placement the ability to deal with the occultic aspects of this chart. Never so much in the whole zodiac table, except for Capricorn or zodiac circle, could you find occultic practices being applied in the way they applied in Scorpio. That's where the energy, the alchemical process, the energy is present in the 8th house and Scorpio. That is where all the transformation, the amount of energy it takes to break down a cell and then allow that cell to transform into a different formation to become the nourishment of the world, or to form into a different cell entirely, to transmutate into a different cell, requires so much energy that this is why Scorpio and the 8th house becomes so prominent in the chart. It's that ability to crush and transform and churn the butter of the universe together, the butter of our solar system, into a different form. And so Mars allows for the chart holder to deal with this directly. A lot of people struggle with topics in the 8th house. It's scary, it's taboo. But Mars gives you the ability to champion yourself on, the devotion to understand that you need to press on. You need to continue. You need to use the undulating serpentine energy that comes from this planet and move through the darkness. But on the lighter side of things, yes, if you have Mars in the 8th house or in Scorpio, for example, you could be very attractive. You could ooze sensuality. You could ooze the passions of this very, very deep sign. It is a very, very sexual position to have. Tantrically speaking, you could really stand out here. I mean, really stand out here. So it is, yes, it has some bonuses to being in such a dark part of the chart. But it is a very, very important placement in your chart to have, and it means a lot if you have it. So fellow alchemists, I hope you really enjoyed that one. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe, drop a like down below. More importantly, drop down into the comment section, tell us how it feels dealing with Mars in the 8th house. And above all of that, the most paramount thing is that you take good care of yourself. And I'll see you next time when I do Mars in the 9th house. Until then, goodbye.